Released on the 26th of January 2018 on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, Monster Hunter World was a hit, shipping over 5 million copies just 3 days after launch. With the PC release on the 9th of August, I wanted to take a look at what the newest game in the long-running Monster Hunter series has to offer for PC gamers. Developed and published by Capcom, Monster Hunter World is an action role-playing game set in a high fantasy environment. Playable solo or cooperatively, online, the emphasis is on action, as you're sent out to hunt down and kill or capture monsters to progress through the game. Each successful hunt rewards you with materials to put towards stronger armor and weapons, allowing you to take on ever more challenging foes. Although the PC release didn't come until August, the game hit my radar in January. There was a lot of excitement prior to the console release, and critic reviews were overwhelmingly favourable, averaging a score of 90 on Metacritic. The user scores were a little lower, averaging out at 7.8, with some fans of the series feeling it had been dumbed down and others simply not enjoying the gameplay loop. On the whole though, it was received positively, with sales passing the 8 million milestone before the PC launch. Having not played a Monster Hunter game before, it took some encouragement from a friend to get on board with this one. Snagging a pre-purchase at £30 helped to alleviate my concerns of another console to PC nightmare. I'm looking at you, Destiny 2. Aside from the glowing console reviews, I did very little research prior to the Windows launch. I knew there were various weapon sets, I knew there were big monsters to kill, I knew I could play it with a controller and that there were going to be a lot of cats. But that was about it. I was optimistic, but I was expecting to find myself struggling to stay motivated. With a Steam library full of unplayed games, titles really have to scratch an itch immediately. I just don't have the patience to wait for them to grow on me. The game starts you off on a ship headed for the New World, an enchanting, overgrown wilderness full of dangerous monsters and undiscovered flora and fauna. You're a monster hunter, part of the 5th Fleet, on a mission to provide support to the pre-existing base set up by the Research Commission. After an in-depth character creation and short tutorial phase that introduces you to the basic movement mechanics, you get to select your weapon of choice. There are a number to choose from, each with a different fighting style and moveset, all of which can be tested to your heart's content in the training area. With a weapon selected, there are a number of quests and prompts to ease you into the Monster Hunter World gameplay loop. From here on out, you'll be taking quests to kill or capture monsters of increasing difficulty. When you've completed your task, you'll be able to return to the hub, called a steerer, and turn in bounties, upgrade your weapons and armor, consume a tasty stat-boosting snack, manage your inventory, and head back out again on a new adventure. While the gameplay loop is relatively simple, the real fun is in the hunt and then the combat with the monsters. Whether you're tasked with taking down a towering behemoth of teeth and spikes, a fire breather, heavily armored brute, something with scales and wings, or a creature that looks cute and fluffy, every foe presents a different challenge. The variations opponents offer have been pleasantly surprising, with different tactics needed to take down each one. These aren't your average garden variety foes. They're big, they're scary, they're mean, and they can hit hard, particularly if you're not prepared. Fights usually last between 5 and 45 minutes, but if you run out of hit points, the game calls it fainting, more times than the quest allows, or if you run out of time, you're done. It's back to a steerer with you, and you'll have to start the quest over. Should you succeed and slay your target, you'll be able to dice it up for parts, which, along with the quest rewards, can be taken back to base and used to craft new equipment or upgrade something you already have. For the completionists, and those in search of a long-term goal, this is where the game can really provide a sense of longevity and achievement. There are 14 weapon types that each offer a different style of play. There are dozens of upgrades for each weapon, offering different designs and a variety of elements, each with a positive and negative attribute. The larger your arsenal, the more of an advantage you're going to have when picking the perfect weapon to face your quarry. Armor is no different, with most monsters having a specific stylized armor set. Set bonuses, or mixing and matching, can offer the edge you need to beat a difficult foe in the quickest possible time. While I can see the benefits of this and think it's a great system, I'm all about appearances in Monster Hunter World, so this system allows me to pick out and importantly preview an outfit before spending my valuable materials. I'll be honest, I did struggle a little to begin with. The game can be overwhelming for a new player, and although I muddled through and feel like I have a firm grasp on the game now, I did have to ask friends and look for guides online when I needed some clarification. On the plus side, having the game release on consoles back in January means there's a wealth of knowledge from multiple sources available online for every conceivable situation. The game is forgiving, and a failed quest simply means you have to start over again. It's easy to learn, and while challenging, I haven't faced an insurmountable obstacle yet. However, I do feel it could get harder the further I progress, but not before I'm ready to face it. Having a variety of quests and beautiful quest locations available means that if I ever am struggling, I can hone my skill on an easier foe elsewhere. The control system was difficult to get used to, and even more than 20 hours in, I still find I'm accidentally sheathing my blades at the most inopportune moments. Overall, the game is good though, and I'm enjoying the time I'm spending in the world, and the variety of opponents is exactly what I was hoping for. It's not Dark Souls difficult, and I think for me that's a good thing. The atmosphere is surprisingly cheerful, and I think that's probably something to do with all of the cats. I've been playing almost exclusively with an old PS3 DualShock controller, and had no problems setting it up. Loading times are minimal on my system. It takes just over a minute to be running around in Astera after launching from Steam. I'm sitting at around the recommended specs, and while running with high settings, usually have in the region of 50 frames per second at 1080p. I haven't had any noticeable frame drops, and in 20 plus hours I've not had a crash or even any bugs to do with the game itself. Well, okay, except one, and here's why Steam currently has mixed reviews, and why Metacritic has a user score of just 5.2 on PC. Monster Hunter World was advertised as a game that can be played alone, but one that really shines as a cooperative experience. Yet as of right now, as has been the case since the PC launch, multiplayer has been patchy, or in most cases non-existent. The lobby system rarely connects to a multiplayer lobby, forcing you into offline mode, and when it does connect, the connection tends to only last a quest or two before dumping you back out into offline mode. This is completely unacceptable for those that bought the game specifically to play with friends, so understandably, reviews have suffered because of it. I did manage to get some online play in between the connection issues. The quest rewards are split between the number of players, and the monster health increases, but the fun of jumping around chasing monsters with friends makes it all worth it, and I fully expect review scores to improve once the connection issues have been resolved. But it needs to be soon, before all of those that have given negative reviews give up and move on to greener pastures before they can change them. One final concern at present is the way the game is set up for mouse and keyboard users. Capcom have addressed this and say the team is working hard to improve these controls, but as with the connection issues, they're due in a future patch to be released at an as yet undetermined time. So, do I think you should buy this game? If you don't have a controller, or if you're looking exclusively for a multiplayer cooperative experience, it might be best for you to hold off until the patches come in. Otherwise, as long as you meet the hardware specifications for the game, and you like what you see, I would absolutely go ahead and pull the trigger on this one. You won't be missing anything by waiting for a sale though, and it's not like an MMORPG where you're going to be behind everyone if you start 6 months later. There really aren't going to be any story spoilers you stumble upon because, while there is a story, the real story is going to be the time you took down that really tough monster on your own, or the memories that you make with your friends. So you could wait for the price to drop, and that's okay. But there is a phenomenal gaming experience to be had right now with Monster Hunter World. Hey guys, thanks for watching my first video. I just wanted to make a note on the most recent update for Monster Hunter World, which was on the 23rd of August. They apparently came in and they said that they fixed some things with the connection issues, but a lot of people are still having issues. I'm still only getting a connection maybe half of the time, so it's not fully fixed yet. But thanks for watching. I hope to make a few more of these review videos. I'm working at the minute on Overcooked 2, and then at the end of the month when 2 Point Hospital comes out, I hope to bring out a video then as well. But until then, thank you very much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.